Welcome back to The Chosen Life. I'm your host, The Chosen Lawyer. With me today is The Chosen Lawyer. Where's the co-host, you're asking? It's a little different, isn't it? Well, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's partially what inspired me, to start different podcasts. And one of the things I noticed in these podcasts, in some of them at least, you notice that there's hosts and they're just talking to the camera. They're talking to you, the guests, but they don't have a sidekick. And I always thought to myself, how do they do that? How do they just talk to themselves endlessly? They must really love the sound of their voice. Well, sometimes in life, you gotta drive solo. And today we're going to be doing it on our magical episode number 80. I saw a topic today, which got me really fired up. And I love to rant to myself. So I said, you know what? Let's rant to the audience. I know they're going to feel it with me. So in today's magical episode number 80, I got 3 topics for you. Number 1, Eury Perez in baseball, just sent down by the Marlins. We're going to discuss that. Number 2, we're going to marvel at Shohei Ohtani's stats. Haven't talked about him in a little while. He comes across The Chosen Life. He comes across The Chosen Journey with Steve Carsey, but we haven't touched upon him for a little while. I just took a look at his stats as the All-Star break is approaching and said to myself, man, I got to talk about this. And we're going to touch upon wrestling because, we love baseball, we love wrestling, and we're going to talk about my new favorite tag team, Better Than You, Baby. So without further ado, let's start with topic number 1. In late breaking news, this just came down the pipeline as we are taping today, and the Florida Marlins have sent down star rookie pitcher Eury Perez. Now, they're going to say all the right things. They've come across and stated, first of all, he got signed in 2019, and so we got to limit his innings. It's really, really important. He's a young pitcher. We want to watch his innings limit. You can watch all the innings all you want in life. This is nothing more, I think, than a slap in the face to the fans. And I don't get it on any level. I don't know how they're even allowed to get away with this. If I was Major League Baseball, I would step up in arms. If you're ever bored one day, go take a look at Eury Perez's stats. Look at his game logs since he's been called up. All this guy has done pretty much has been magic, almost untouchable. 2.36 ERA through his first 11 starts. I mean, strikeout or more an inning. He's kept his walks pretty low. He's been everything and more that they needed. This is what confounds me the most. You got the Marlins, and they're saying that they're going to be a team in contention, and they're going to, change their cheap miser ways. They're currently 51-38 as we're approaching the All-Star break again as we're taping. Second place in the NL East, okay? Are they going to touch the Braves being 8-9 games back? Probably not. But they're actually the top team in the wild card, okay? They're ahead of the Dodgers and the Phillies. So is there something that we don't know about this? Like, is there a personality issue? Is there something in the clubhouse? I don't know. I don't think so. And I think if there was, some of it would have been addressed or something would have come out. In this day and age of social media and people talking, not talking. But to me, it just seems like very simple. You can say you're going to limit the guy's innings. I think this is simply limiting his arbitration eligibility and his status by keeping him down in the minors. The Marlins came back and said as well, we got guys that are healthy. They're coming back healthy now. We got a full load of rotation, no room at the end. Johnny Cueto, Edward Cabrera are all on the way back. I'm a Cueto guy as much as anybody else. Love the guy. He's been around forever, seemingly. Great veteran presence. There's something called middle relief, mop-up duty, whatever you got to do. This is not somebody who's coming is going to get a 2 ERA for you. You're lucky if you get a 4+ ERA. You're lucky if he gets 5 innings in a shot. He could be there as a spot starter. Even go to a 6-man rotation, whatever you got to do. But if you're going to tell me that this is anything but saving money, I think you're lying. And when your team is in contention, I think you got to do everything possible to stay in contention. When your top pitcher is your rookie pitcher, let him go. You know what? The innings are an issue. Miss a start here and there. Slow him down closer to September when he's wearing down. But when he's still fairly fresh, it's still early in the season, And the guy did not get called up, from the start of spring training through opening day. He got called up later in the season. So this is again a situation where I think the Marlins really need to think about how they're going to address their fans. It's been difficult to get fans into the stands. You have a Rays that is trying to hit 400. You got excitement. You're actually in contention again. I think they got to think through this decision. If you're going to send him down for the All-Star break, when the season restarts again, get him up as soon as possible. Go to a 6-man rotation, skip his starts. But I think this is totally unacceptable. I think this is a black eye on the Marlins, a black eye on baseball. And I even, think about his teammates that are going out there grinding, the pitchers that go in every 5 days, the relievers that come in, a Rays going for 400. What message does it send these players saying, hey, we're taking your best pitcher. We're going to throw him to the minors because we think this is the best thing to do. I'm sorry. When you have some of the best numbers in baseball, you keep the guy up, period. Take a look at what the Cincinnati Reds are doing. Look at how they're in contention. They're bringing up rookies time and time, and they're keeping them up there. So put in your comments, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this situation about Eury Perez. Is this the right move? Are the Marlins actually making a real baseball decision here? Are we taking this innings limit thing too far? Is this really going to work at the end of the day? And when we're in contention, we want to get fans in the seats. Should we be doing more? Or am I missing something here? If I am, I'd love to hear it. Send in your comments. We'll discuss it. You can say I know nothing about baseball. You can say I know everything about baseball. But I can tell you this much. When something doesn't smell right, it's usually not right. So from Eury Perez, topic number 1, we move on to topic number 2, and that is the greatness that is Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, has been talked about ad nauseum, and he'll be talked about again all season long, right through to the playoffs. Lord willing, he makes the playoffs, and then to the offseason. You think about the WBC that just passed by in 2023, the ending where he went on the mound, struck out Mike Trout to end the series. Japan wins the World Baseball Classic. What we're seeing right now, you read about the folklore of Babe Ruth, but I think this guy is going to far surpass Babe Ruth because Babe Ruth was a pitcher for a limited amount of time. And even for the time he was, considering the era that he was in, pretty freaking cool what Ohtani is able to do in this era for as long as he has, and there's no sign of let up. Keep in mind, we're around the halfway mark of the season now from a game standpoint. Just from a batting point of view, okay? You can talk about the fact that Ohtani is not fielding. He's a DH. That lowers his value. If he had the glove and he was a two-way player as far as a batter fielder, I got you. Fine. Accept that. But as far as a batter goes itself, take a look at one stat. The fact is at the All-Star break, hitting 31 home runs. Okay. For him, up till now, that would have been a season worth of home runs. Okay. So not a guy that we projected to hit 60, 70 home runs. He's not Aaron Judge. Or is he? Whatever Aaron Judge was eating in his cornflakes, I think Ohtani now has gotten that box because he's taken over Judge's stat plaster on the MLB stage, and now he's doing it. And so now we're talking about one of the greatest hitters right now going, could be winning the home run title. Wow. 296 average, 68 RBIs, and to add 11 stolen bases. So he's not just a one-trick pony, okay? He knows how to run as well. This is the modern day Babe Ruth, period. To be able to do this as a batter and then be able to do it as a pitcher and consistently as a pitcher, I don't see any sign of let up. From a pitching point of view, 7-4 record, considering the Angels have been in contention, not in contention, they're a funny team. There's so many times that Ohtani, I watch his starts and the bullpen either blows it for him or he gets no run support. The fact he even has that 7-4 record, I think, is a miracle. 3.32 ERA, made his 17 starts, so he's full load as a starting pitcher, 100 innings, but 132 strikeouts. Wow. Only 67 hits, given up 43 walks, good for a 1.096 whip as we get to the All-Star break. This man, whether you consider a pitcher eligible for the MVP or not, this guy should be the MVP every single year. When you consider what is the most valuable player, we have this debate all the time. Is it the one with the best stats? It have to be on a winning team, so it's the best player on a winning team. Who is the most valuable player? If you could have one player from your league on your team, who do you want? If you could have the best starting pitcher, one of the best starting pitchers, and one of the best hitters, you're going to grab him every day of the week. That's how I see it. So the fact he hasn't won the MVP pretty much every year, I think is a travesty. I think he should have won more. And when we're going into this offseason now, when you start thinking about his contract, now the talk is, we said 500 million, maybe pushing it, 550 may be low. Think about that. We might come to a point that he has an opt-out and he could be approaching $1 billion in contract money, because on his hitting alone, you think 250, 300 million is not out of the realm. On his pitching alone, 250, 300 is not out of the realm. So he can get both salaries together. You got two amazing players in one. Would you want to spend over 500 million as an owner and put him on your team, knowing you put that much of your payroll into one player? Here's the thing, though, and I've read interesting points on it, and I've listened to it as well. Marketing opportunities, something that people don't think about very often. But when you're thinking from a business point of view and you're a baseball owner, this person is costing you X amount of money. It translates to X amount of wins for you, brings your ball club up, but also how does it help your revenues from a marketing as far as selling jerseys, merchandise, TV, radio? Does it affect there at all? If you're cracking that market, the Japanese market, because Ohtani's on your team and everybody's buying your jerseys, it's a big, big plus. So I'm not going to tell you the guy's going to generate for you an extra 100 million in revenue, but it's definitely a good look. It's definitely a good marketing opportunity. If I was a team, I'm seriously considering it. There should be 30 teams that are going to be considering him. The talk is he's going to want to stay on the West Coast. With the weather, can't say I blame the guy. I still see him being the next guy to be the best superstar for the San Francisco Giants. If I'm a betting man, and I have to bet right now where Shohei Ohtani is ending up, I'm going to tell you I see San Francisco Giants. Back in the day when they picked up Barry Bonds and what Barry Bonds did for that team, they need that. They have not had a Barry Bonds type player for all these years. I'm going to tell you, Shohei Ohtani is your guy. Dodgers are obviously going to be right thick and thin into it. The question is, do you want to be part of the Dodgers? Where do you like playing? Do you like the ballpark? Do you like the city, the atmosphere? Only he knows. In truth, it's a travesty to see Ohtani and Trout broken up. Trout made the commitment to be with the Angels. Ohtani picked the Angels for whatever reason. Remember, he didn't just have to go to the Angels. He picked them at the time. He had his choice. I think he's been there for a reason. If he's not going to be making the move away from the Giants, and, team owner of the Angels decided to stay put and decide not to sell the team, they may find a way to talk to him. He may be comfortable. He may like it there. If winning is the most important thing to him in the world and that's it, then he's going to call up the Yankees, say, hey, I'm ready to be the next Babe Ruth in pinstripes. I want to play with Judge. Let's do it. But if he cares about the weather and he cares about his atmosphere and everything else, and he's staying in California, Angels may not be so bad. So tell me, when you hear this message, what is your take? Who is your favorite team in baseball? If you're a big MLB fan, do you think Ohtani has a chance to sign with them? How many teams do you think are in the running? What do you think his contract's going to look like? And can he do this over a full season? Like, is he going to break 50, 60 home runs? Is he going to break 200 strikeouts this year? Do you think he can do a full season again, as far as a starting pitcher goes, get his 34, 35 starts in? Can he do it with injury-free? He already had that blister thing come up. I think it's pretty minor, not like Trout with the broken finger. But you never know in the world of baseball. One slip, ankle can go, hamstring can go. You never ever groin. You never ever know. But we definitely wish him the best. And if he bets him on himself, it's going to be really interesting to see where that contract goes this year. We wish Mr. Ohtani all the best. Topic number 3. I promised you 3 topics today, and we're going to deliver. We covered off a couple in baseball. Now let's move on to the world of wrestling. Now we have our other podcast, Professional Wrestling. And, we talked a lot about WWE and their events. We touch upon AEW. If If you've watched the show, you know that I'm a big WWE guy. I do watch AEW, not as much as JPL Curry as far as AEW goes. He's been a lifer from day one. I got more into it over time. I've gone to their live events. I get excited about things they do. Not all the storylines work for me, but I had to raise a storyline today because just saw the last Dynamite when, as of this taping, and I gotta say they have a new gimmick, and I feel like they're gonna break it too soon, but I hope they stick with it for a while. And that's my new favorite tag team, and that is called from MJF and Adam Cole, Better Than You, Baby. Wow. I love the vignette, the first one that they shot of them in the gym together. Hilarious stuff. If you haven't seen it, go onto YouTube, click on AEW, watch that little item. I think it's just freaking hilarious. Their chemistry on the air is fantastic. They really work well off of each other. You know, you're watching it and you're thinking, okay, MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, he's going to screw Adam Cole at any moment. You know it's coming. That's who he is. He's the devil. Adam Cole is very, very, on guard when it comes to MJF, not giving him much time of day. MJF, they won their match together in the tournament. They advanced in the tournament where they're, may become tag team champions. And, MJF even throws Adam Cole a birthday party and seems to have all the best intentions, but Adam Cole still giving him a hard time. Why is he giving him such a hard time? Like, why can't he accept that MJF really wants to be friends with him and hang out? Because we all know that MJF is going to screw him at the end of the day. That's who MJF is. He's trying to get Adam Cole close, so he's not going to fight him in the ring, but it's going to happen. That's MJF. He's a heel. But maybe I'm wrong. Throw in your comments. Am I wrong on this? Are they going to turn MJF face? Is this thing with Adam Cole going to continue? I'm telling you, the chemistry is good. Don't end this thing too soon. Of course, they got to come out with a t-shirt right away. It's come to this point. As soon as anything happens in wrestling, the next day, got to get t-shirts out, got to get the merch out. If you have this impulse purchase, as far as a new fad shirt, it can go out of style really quick. But if you have something neat that's going to have lasting power, you can wear that shirt for a long, long time. They need to keep this tag team together. MJF is not going out there wrestling much these days as far as a champion goes. He's doing the Roman Reigns thing. That's fine. We're good. So in order to get him out wrestling more, have him wrestling in a tag team. That's fine. Let's do it. You know what? Even make him a double champ. Why not? They're like the original Odd Couple. AEW found something magical and they said, you know what? Let's run with it. Let's see where it goes. I was more skeptical than anybody else when it came to this pairing. And you know what? They've absolutely blown me away. Adam Cole, for all his stuff, love him or hate him, MJF brings out the best in him. He actually makes Adam Cole look pretty cool, and MJF, becomes kind of goofy. You see the human side of him. Adam Cole brings that out of him. I just don't see how you split this up. So part of the problem with professional wrestling is they like to make a gimmick and they like to cut it too short, and it's like they find a way though sometimes to do it right. Like the whole thing with the Acclaimed and with Scissor Me Daddy, I thought that Billy Gunn was gonna turn on them real freaking quick, and you know what? He didn't. He stayed with them, and they actually got smart about it. The Bloodline, they kept that gimmick going in WWE for quite a while. I thought that was gonna get cut. They didn't cut it. They didn't cut it, but finally it was time because they were building up to it. You know what? I don't know how long that Better Than You Baby is gonna last. If I was a betting man, I was going to Vegas. I would say give this thing maybe another 3 weeks max. Pardon the pun. And the thing will get cut. In a perfect world, 6 months to a year. Don't see them getting the belts, but see them going pretty far. I just want to say kudos to AEW for thinking outside the box. I love this tournament where you're going and you're rolling out names, pairing up people that have no business being together. It's pretty neat. It's pretty different. And in the world of wrestling where we've seen it all, done it all, it's nice to see a new concept. So kudos to AEW. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up for Better Than You, Baby, and for getting me excited about AEW once again. So there's our episode. We've done it a little differently, as I said. It was episode number 80 of The Chosen Life. I got to rant. You got to listen. I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to your comments and really appreciate the viewership on social media, through YouTube. You've been with us now throughout this year. Excited about what's to come in 2024. We're only halfway through 2023. You start planning always a year ahead. It's a lot of fun to put this content together for you. You're a great audience. We love you to pieces. So thank you for viewing. And as always, keep living the chosen life.